Hey fam, I'm Anasia Obioha and I am at the Netflix When They See Us screening and conversation moderated by Oprah Winfrey. I'll be talking to the cast and giving you some insights on this series, so stay tuned. Hey folks, I'm with Ava DuVernay, the director of When They See Us, the series on Netflix. I want to ask you, why is it so important now to tell this story?
This is a story that's been told over the last 30 years. It's a story that's, actually 400 years old. If we talk about the first of us who came to this country and were stripped of who we were on sight. This is what happened to these boys. These boys were innocent, but they were stripped of that. They were indicted because of the color of their skin. So this is a story that's long been told. It's just being told in a new form today.
How has doing this series impacted them now? Because a lot of people can't see you and we don't have a relationship with them. What has their reaction been?
I think that they're getting some peace from the open arms that people have received the story with, and the beautiful gestures of support and words of support that are coming from the audience. People are finally seeing them, finally seeing their stories, finally believing them, and it makes a difference.
I play Bobby McCray. He's the father to Antron McCray, and he buckled. He buckled under the fear and under the ignorance of not knowing. And in the heat of the moment, he believed that if he told his son to tell a lie, that things would go back to normal. And it was the exact polar opposite of what he was told. And when that realization hit him, it broke him, I believe.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel playing this role? I mean, it was so emotionally, it was really tense.
Bobby is a very complex character. On paper, he looks like he didn't care. But when I had the pleasure of speaking to his wife, Antron's mom, Miss Linda, before she passed recently, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, the way she spoke about him, with so much love and compassion and empathy, it made me know that I needed to go deeper. On paper, he looks like a deadbeat dad who just said deuces when things got tough. He just bounced. That was not the case. His shame, his guilt, his frustration, his anger, I think that drove him out of his own family household, away from his family.
Just as a black teenager in America, knowing that I'm at risk and knowing that there's that opportunity for things like this to happen. Of course, there's that fear that exists, and hopefully we can reach a point where there's no need for that fear, and we can all live peacefully and not be afraid of anybody or afraid of law enforcement or or anything.
How was Ava DuVernay able to help you guys through, playing some of the more difficult scenes?
She put all of her confidence in us, and we felt that throughout the entire time. We knew that we felt safe with whatever we were doing. We knew that we were driven with the knowledge that she wouldn't move on until she gets what she needed, until she got what she needed. So we always knew that we were in good hands throughout the entire process, especially the harder scenes.
Amazing. And lastly, what do you want people to take away from this film?
I want people to take away these men's truth, and I want people to if they ever get stopped by police or brought into interrogation rooms, to know their rights and to know what's happening, and yeah. So
you've gotten really emotional talking about this film. Why has this made such an impact on you?
I'm a mom, and at the end of the day, there but for the grace of God go I. I mean, this could very easily be any one of our children. So, and it's hard. But even though it's hard to watch, it's necessary. And what I tell people who don't understand that is that if these men endured it, we owe it to them to at least bear witness to it.
Absolutely, I agree. And I know it must have been even more emotional for you playing the role. How did you prepare, and how were you able to get through it?
I actually had a conversation with Delores Wise for about an hour, and her pain was still right at the surface. And it helped me a lot lean in, because as a mother, you want to protect and provide. And when her hands were tied in both areas, you can't help but feel that thing.
Absolutely. What do you want people to take away from this? Because sometimes you can watch films like this and just feel like you don't know what to do. You know, it just makes you angry. So what can you tell people that they can do?
I'm absolutely okay with people being angry, but then do something. Find a place to serve and apply yourself in it all. Um, um, Join an organization like Color of Change or Innocence Project. Make sure that you vote. We could start there.
Can you say that again for the camera, please?
A little louder for the people in the
A little loud for the people in the back, please. So tell me a little bit about how you prepared for the role.
Well, this is a real life person. This is a person right in front of me. So there was a lot of responsibility, a lot of pressure behind that. So I try to make sure that I found all the nuances and the technicalities of Corey Wise that make him who he is. He's a very, very unique person. I think when you meet him, you will never meet anyone else like him. So I wanted to find those quirks and those little things that make Corey Wise who he is. That's the voice and kind of training my voice to sound like him, the way I walk, the way I am, you know. I could never be Corey Wise. No one ever could be. I could look like him, I can act like him, but never be.
What was your biggest takeaway?
Just the facts of the criminal justice system. I was very in the dark about today's modern day slavery, and that's what incarceration is. So.
And what can we do about it? I mean, now that they see this film, people are more aware. What are some steps they can take?
Just talk about it. Have a conversation. Not be angry, not be resentful, but more so determined and focused on pushing forward, you know.
Awesome. Was it really difficult to do this film? Because there's some really, I'm sure painful things that you had to act out. So what was that like, and how did you deal with that?
It was the hardest experience of my life, most definitely. To get there mentally, emotionally, physically every day and keep it in me. I can never not bring my work home, so it was very hard. How I dealt with it was Corey Wise, spending time with him, being in his presence, knowing that he's safe and okay and happy and smiling and proud of me. It kept me moving.
And so Raymond was one of the individuals who was, convicted wrongfully for the attempted murder and rape of a woman jogging in Central Park back in 1989. He is Puerto Rican, New York native. Yeah.
How did playing this role impact you personally as a man of color?
Sure. As a man of color, it is, as an actor especially, I want to serve a purpose in my community and represent a community that is normally misrepresented. To tell this story, to tell a story of this caliber, and to tell a story of this kind of influence, is a dream. It's a true dream because I can be an ambassador of change.
Absolutely. How has doing this part changed you?
Oh, it's given me a purpose beyond myself. I'm trying to become involved in things beyond acting, trying to contribute to society and not just be a bystander. And I'm fortunate enough to have a platform in which I can do that. I'm learning. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly trying to find ways in which I can make an impact.
First of all, thank you so much for helping to, bring this film to light. What was it like playing this role?
Oh, it was such an honor. It's always an honor. I've had the blessing in my career to play a lot of real people and tell stories that are hard. And so to be a part of what seems to be a massive push for change is beyond what any actor can hope for in their career. So it's been such a blessing.
Awesome. What was like the main thing that you learned playing this part?
The main thing I learned playing this part is more in support of knowledge I already have because I've worked with Equal Justice Initiative and other entities that are looking to exonerate men who aren't guilty. And
that's
so
awesome.
It's just more information to support how human these stories are like, and what they were able to do with this narrative is make it less of an issue story and more of a human story. And if we can do more of that, then we win, and we get our guys out of jail who don't belong there.
So the average person watching this series, what do you want them to take away from this?
I want everyone to take away whatever they're going to take away. What I think they'll take away is because it was shot with such empathy, sympathy, kindness, and generosity, they have to see the humans. They have to see that these were boys, and they're so commonly boys. Like, this is not, unfortunately, unique. The story is ringing true because it is still true. And that's the unfortunate problem. Like, my wife and I, we had to watch it in 10-minute pieces because I have cousins in jail. You know?
Yeah, it's tough. So many of us do. And speaking of that, so for people who say, you know, especially African Americans who say, look, this is so freaking hard to watch, it's traumatic, what makes them go out and support this film regardless of how uncomfortable it is to see?
I think if you cannot watch it, that's okay, right? We're brown-skinned people. We have family in jail, in the justice. It's absolutely perfect if you can't watch it. Just support it. You know what I mean? Even if you stream it and don't watch it, you know, that's views. There's so many ways to support this thing that is looking to help us all. And, you know, not everybody has to watch it. My mother can't watch it. She watches my pieces and goes away. She's seen too much. But she tweets about it. She emails about it, you know, and that's a way to support it. And one more is we have to support when we tell our own stories.
You are right about that.
Because we've seen narratives win Oscars that were, and it's not a problem, it doesn't matter, but some stories aren't our stories. They're for other people to feel comfortable with us, and that's a whole different narrative. And this is told fully by brown people and people of color for the majority, and that is important because there's a sympathy that comes with that.